Who is Martin Luther King? Well, that's a great question. You see, this man is a legend. He's a symbol of hope, equality, and freedom. And his name echoes through time, reminding us of the struggles and triumphs of the civil rights movement. But who was the man behind the name? Well, let's find out! Martin Luther King Jr. was born on January 15th, 1929 in Atlanta, Georgia. He grew up in a time when things weren't easy for African Americans. Segregation was the norm and discrimination was everywhere. But even as a child, Martin showed that he wasn't afraid to stand up for what he believed in. He went to school, segregated schools, but he excelled in his studies. After graduating from Morehouse College in 1948 with a degree in sociology, he went on to study theology, earning a doctorate from Boston University in 1955. It was also in Boston that he met Coretta Scott, a talented musician and the love of his life. They married and had 4 children together, Yolanda Martin III, Dexter and Bernice. But it was in Montgomery, Alabama, that Martin Luther King Jr. really made a name for himself. You see, in 1955, Rosa Parks, an African-American woman, refused to give up her seat to a white man on a bus. She was arrested, and King, along with other civil rights activists, organized a boycott of the bus system. The boycott lasted over a year and led to the U.S. Supreme Court, ruling that racial segregation on public buses was unconstitutional. King's leadership in the boycott introduced his philosophy of nonviolent resistance, which he called the philosophy of love, inspired by Mahatma Gandhi. In 1957, King helped found the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, or S, which worked to end segregation and promote voting rights for African Americans. Over the next decade, King led campaigns across the South, including the famous March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom in 1963. It was during this march that King delivered his iconic I Have a Dream speech, calling for an end to racism and discrimination. As a result of the movement, major legislation was passed, including the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Voting Rights Act of 1965. In 1964, King became the youngest recipient of the Nobel Peace Prize at just 35 years old. But King didn't stop there. He continued to speak out against poverty and the Vietnam War until his death on April 4th, 1968. He was assassinated on the balcony of his motel room in Memphis, Tennessee. Today, we remember Martin Luther King Jr. as a man who dared to dream of a better world and worked tirelessly to make that dream a reality. His courage, his determination, and his belief in the power of love continue to inspire people around the world. And that's why every year on Martin Luther King Jr. Day, we come together to celebrate his life and his legacy and to recommit ourselves to the struggle for justice, equality, and freedom for all. Thank you for watching this video about Martin Luther King Jr. If you enjoyed it, please like and share it with your friends. Also, don't forget to subscribe so you never miss out on any of our videos. In the annals of history, few figures have left a mark as indelible as Martin Luther King Jr. His unwavering commitment to justice, equality, and peace continues to inspire millions around the globe. So let's take a journey through the life of this extraordinary individual, exploring the pivotal moments that shaped his legacy. January 15th, 1929. A date that echoed with destiny as Martin Luther King Jr. was born in the city of Atlanta, Georgia. Growing up in a deeply religious family, King was nurtured by his father, Reverend Martin Luther King Sr., and his mother, Alberta Williams King. From an early age, he displayed a remarkable character, a testament to the values instilled in him by his parents. As King progressed through segregated schools in Atlanta, his academic excellence opened doors to higher education. In 1948, he graduated from Morehouse College with a degree in sociology, setting the stage for his future endeavors. His thirst for knowledge led him to Crozer Theological Seminary, where he delved into the depths of theology. And in 1955, he received his doctorate in systematic theology from Boston University. These years of study not only broadened his understanding of faith, but also shaped his perspective on social issues, laying the groundwork for his future activism. During his time in Boston, King met the love of his life, Coretta Scott, a relationship that would become a powerful partnership in the struggle for civil rights. Their union was blessed with 4 children. Yolanda, Martin Luther III, Dexter, and Bernice, forming a family that stood united in their pursuit of justice. The year 1955 marked a turning point in King's life when he rose to national prominence during the Montgomery bus boycott, sparked by the courageous act of Rosa Parks, who refused to give up her seat to a white passenger on a segregated bus. The boycott turned into a historic movement. King's leadership in this movement showcased his philosophy of nonviolent resistance, a concept deeply influenced by Mahatma Gandhi's teachings. This experience not only demonstrated the power of peaceful protests, but also propelled King onto the national stage as a leader of the burgeoning civil rights movement. In 1957, King played a pivotal role in the founding of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, an organization dedicated to advancing civil rights through nonviolent means. Under his leadership, the SCLC orchestrated campaigns across the South aimed at dismantling racial segregation and promoting voting rights for African Americans. These campaigns often came at great personal cost to King, who faced numerous arrests and endured physical abuse and threats. Yet it was his unwavering commitment to his cause that led to significant victories. One of the most iconic moments in King's life occurred in 1963 during the March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom. As he stood before the Lincoln Memorial, King delivered his now legendary "I Have a Dream" speech. In that powerful address, he articulated his vision of a nation where people would be judged not by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. The dream that King shared that day resonated deeply with millions and served as a clarion call for the advancement of civil rights. The legislative victories achieved during this period, including the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Voting Rights Act of 1965, stand as testaments to King's leadership and the broader movement's impact. In 1964, at the age of 35, King was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize for his work in advancing civil rights. He became the youngest recipient of the prize at the time, sharing it with the Swedish writer Evan Johnson. Throughout his career, King's message of nonviolent resistance and social justice resonated with people beyond the confines of the civil rights movement. He expanded his focus to include issues of poverty and became a vocal opponent of the Vietnam War. His commitment to peace and social justice led him to Memphis, Tennessee, in 1968. Where he stood in solidarity with striking sanitation workers. Tragedy struck on April 4th, 1968, when Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated on the balcony of his motel room. His untimely death sent shockwaves across the nation and the world, but the impact of his life and work continued to reverberate, inspiring generations to carry on the fight for equality and justice. Today, King's legacy lives on. January is celebrated as Martin Luther King Jr. Day, a U.S. federal holiday that honors his life, his work, and the enduring dream that continues to inspire us all. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the life of Martin Luther King Jr. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with those who might find inspiration in King's story. As always, thanks for watching.